So I am standing in the number 19 hauler for Bill McAnally Racing with Daniel Hemric, who is sponsored by South Point this weekend. First things first, you're back full-time in Truck Series since 2016. You made one truck start since in 2018. How has the transition been from Cup Series competition to going back down to trucks?
Yeah, it's been interesting. The truck landscape has changed a lot since I was here. Last full time was almost 10 years ago, so it has definitely evolved and changed a lot. But in all reality, too, we're still so early into the season. We ran, Super Speedway in Daytona, and then another Super Speedway-ish style racetrack in Atlanta. So, being here in Vegas, I feel like we're really understanding where our trucks are at, where I'm at with understanding the trucks. But yeah, ultimately just trying to continue to build and adapt. But it's a change of pace from the family life side to the demands on and off the racetrack really are a lot different. So I'm just trying to enjoy it, and it's been fun adapting to everyone here at MHR, and it's been fun.
And you did mention that you started the season off with 2 super speedways, and we're kind of entering the more bulk of the season with 1.5 miles and short tracks. What are your expectations this year and going forward? What are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was looking forward to the schedule. When I started entertaining this option here at MHR from Bill McAnally, I thought, okay, it's, we got a race-winning organization with race-winning trucks, with a lot of support from Chevrolet and the people. So I bring all that up because it makes you feel like, okay, you got all the pieces and parts to go and contend week in, week out. And when you can do that on a weekly basis, that's what makes racing and competition, no matter what you're doing, fun. So I just expect that. I expect us to go and, just maximize our days. And if we do the right things and do our jobs, I think we'll have an opportunity to knock a couple of these out of the park throughout the season. But yeah, we got to understand where we're at. There was a race team, so brand new 19 team. We've got a lot of support from not only South Point, but Napa Auto Care. They're celebrating 100 years in business, massive deal. So they're leaning on us heavily. They got to do a good job for them, and look forward to doing just that.
No worries. So just kind of going through your career, you made your truck debut in 2013 with Gallagher Racing, then went full-time in 2015 with NTS, and then joining with Brad Keselowski in 2016.
Yep.
And then you jumped to Xfinity in 2017 with RCR in the 21 car. And you made the Championship 4 in that year as the only non-junior motorsports car.
Yeah.
How was that sort of season like in the next couple of years after that?
Yeah, I mean, that season in particular was a huge deal for myself to go and learn and build as a race car driver, really build some confidence. I felt like as we went through the process, don't mind us here. As we, you want to start over?
No, you're good.
Okay, no, as we went through the process of that year, being a rookie, being at RCR there, Xfinity cars the first time, I look back at how we performed, especially as the pressure and everything ramped up over the playoffs. Man, we executed at a really high level. We gave ourselves a chance to get the homestead and had an alternator failure, which led to a battery failure that took us out of what at the time was leading the Championship 4. So I just feel like that year in general taught me a lot about grit and personnel and people and NASCAR ranks at the second highest level there is. And I tried to use a lot of stuff I learned within that particular season of not only racing but season of life to help me as we went on to Xfinity again in 2018 with the same team, made it back to Championship 4 in 2018, and then obviously jumped in the Cup car there in 2019 for the first full season for me. So yeah, just I look back and there's a lot that happened there in that first Xfinity year that kind of led to me being who I am today.
And jumping back into the Championship 4 in 2018, you were able to kind of get redemption in 2021 with Joe Gibbs. What was the thought process going into that final restart, and what were the emotions like after the race?
Oh gosh, after in 2021?
21.
Oh man, yeah, that was just a whirlwind. There was a lot going on there. I told everybody that whole week like we were playing with house money, because once you get to the Championship 4 and you've experienced what it takes, like the mental ability you have to have, and really capacity to go through the playoffs and to compete at that high of a level at anything, to do it, like getting there is like you feel like you've won. So anything, I can go here and crash this thing no matter what. I'm gonna finish 4th in the points, but you don't want to not take that chance. Right. And so yes, we're playing with house money. Worst case, we're gonna walk out there with 4th in championship, and yes, we tried to approach it that way, and yeah. lined up on that last restart. That's what we did. Just able to just be locked in and take my chance when I got it.
You're in your first year with McAnally. What's it like working in a team like this? The atmosphere, ethics, bonds, like what's it like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of some really, really big organizations, and I've started with some really small ones as well. And I think this is a little bit of a blend of both, because on the personnel side, the support side from Chevrolet, we're a Tier 1 Chevrolet team, but the way Bill McAnally and then obviously himself teamed up with Bill Hilgeman, which is the Hilgeman and MHR, they try to operate as efficient. Obviously, as like any business, you try to be as lean as you can. But when you come to trucks here in general, it just has a more of a short track vibe to it. But I feel like Bill McAnally has been a scrapper his whole life, and I think he's instilled that within his race team and his group. And I see it. And I appreciate that. I truly do appreciate that. So yeah, it's been just fun to adapt to this, be kind of intertwined within the people and the workings of what makes truck racing what it is. But it's been fun going to battle with these folks so far.
And then walk me through kind of the pre-race routine and the weeks leading up to a race weekend as such.
Yeah, I mean, obviously our turnaround periods are short, right? Typically, if you race on a Friday or Saturday, you're back in the gym on Monday morning as soon as the sun comes up. We have our post-race meetings from the week before on Mondays. Tuesdays, do a lot of training. Wednesdays, you're in your pre-race meeting for the weekend coming up. Mix in simulator time, usually 1 to 2 days a week over with our partners at Chevrolet. But man, there's just, people think you only go drive race cars so you work on the weekends. And that's actually, that's the easier part of the whole week, right? There's many nights where I leave before the sun comes up, or many days I leave before the sun comes up, and I get home and the sun's down. And the days where I do get to see my kids in the morning before I leave, or kiss them goodnight before they go to bed, are few during the weeks as we prepare for these races and the race season. But yeah, it takes commitment, and it takes a lot of commitment from everybody, including everybody in your whole house, right? Your whole household has to be committed, and I'm fortunate to have had that behind me.
Looking at the schedule ahead, obviously there's a lot of tracks that jump out, like Lime Rock and Rockingham.
Yeah.
What's the track that you're most looking forward to racing at this year?
Oh my gosh, my answer is really boring, but I always tell everybody the next one. Like whatever's next, obviously Vegas here today, but it's cool to go to new places first off. So seeing the Truck Series go to Lime Rock, I'm pumped about that specifically, just to go to that part of the country and be kind of the headline race of that weekend. That's going to be fun. It always brings a good vibe. The trucks are going to the Roval for the first time. I've had a lot of runs there over the years, so it's fun to just go to a place that you've got more reps than most at, and you're racing at home, so I'm excited about the Roval. It's funny because there were 2 road courses, and everybody's like, oh, you're not the road course guy, but I do enjoy that style of racing. I don't know, man. It's just the vehicles drive so different than what I've driven the last couple of years. I'm just kind of excited to experience all of it.
Always. Looking at your previous results in the Truck Series and just in general between Xfinity and Cup, your best finish was in the trucks was second in 2016 with Brad Keselowski. You've ran in the top 5 with Junior Motorsports, Joe Gibbs, and Colleague. What are some of the keys to running well at a mile and a half, and especially a place like Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, Vegas is a bit of its own animal with the way the racetrack is really rough down to 1 and 2, and you're always fighting wind or temperature swings, and there's a lot that goes into Vegas specifically. But really, it's all the mile and a half. So I feel like you try to focus on the right things in practice, and don't worry. I mean, a fast race car makes everything better, right? But you try not to worry too much about the speed as much as the balance and how it feels. Myself growing up, working on a lot of my own race cars, like I love what makes race cars go, and trucks is no different than that. And I think throughout practice, having time to digest and kind of correctly work down the path that makes your car and truck have maneuverability in the race is something that's led to success in all the series for all the teams.
Okay. And then last question. In 2019, you had started the Be the Change scholarship,
yes,
granting students financial aid for the fields of welding, mechanical engineering, or motorsports. How did that become what it is?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So I always said, well before I had my opportunity to get to the cup level, that if I ever had a chance to start something financially when I got to that point that I wanted to do it earlier and not regret later down the road that I didn't start it when I could. So as soon as I got that opportunity, I had a great management group. Actually, a good friend of mine, Adrian Parker, asked me what my interest level was of starting something like that. I'm going to do this perfect time. And we started working with the local Rowan Cabarrus Community College there in and around my hometown. And yeah, it really touched home for me because, at one point, I didn't know if racing was going to work out. You never truly know if it's going to. So,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of times I'm like, man, maybe I need to go back to a school, to a community college to get to learn a certain trade or something other than what I've been doing in racing. And I don't know, at the end of the day, like, I was given so many different opportunities in life, myself and my wife included, because we both are super passionate about this. And we're both given so many different opportunities on our racing, so professionally and our personal lives, that sometimes that's what it takes, is somebody just give you an opportunity and a shot. And what we've been able to do with the Be the Change Scholarship is do just that, be the change in somebody's life that you think will hopefully help propel them to their next thing, and hopefully they can take it and it can be impactful for them for the better.
Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Best of luck this
Appreciate
weekend.
it. Thank you.